Hi, I'm Becky Streepy from Glue and Glitter, and welcome to another Friday Tea Break. This week, I am joined by Randi Tisdall from Bohemian Vegan Kitchen, where she shares vegan comfort food recipes. And I think you guys are going to just love her. Before I bring Randi up on the screen, though, I did want to do the usual caveat. We're both home. My family's in the living room watching a movie right now. You might hear some sounds. There's a dog in here hiding from thunder. You might hear her. You might hear sounds from Randi's house too. That's just kind of part of it. Yeah. So let's get to it. Here comes Randi. Hi. Uh-oh. We were having some problems earlier. Can you see me? Oh, Randi. Oh no. Are we frozen?
Hi, I'm hoping it's working. I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh
Oh, there we
no.
go. There we go. I see you now. Hi.
Awesome. Hi. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Just hanging in there on this very rainy day.
It's raining here too. And Randi actually doesn't live that far from me. So I'm in Atlanta and she is in Snellville, Georgia. So we are both
Yes.
having
Yeah.
similar weather events.
Yeah. Yeah. Surprisingly, we have not run into each other yet, but I hope that now we can in real life.
Yeah, we'll make this happen once we feel good about going to a coffee shop. We can
Yeah.
have a real
Yeah.
life tea break.
Right. Right. Yeah. There's a lot of great coffee shops in Atlanta, so that'll be fun.
Yeah, totally. So, Randi, what's going on in Snellville?
Uh, Nothing much. Just staying indoors still mostly. I go out probably once a week. I'll still go out and do like my grocery shopping, but like I try to keep that during the middle of the week or the end of the week. I try not to go on the weekends anymore. I guess a couple months ago. I was going out on like a Saturday or Sunday, and now it's still too crazy to do that. Oh, hey, it's Mary Ellen.
Hey, Mary Ellen. And then Pamela Levine is my mom. Hi, mom.
Oh, hi, mom. Hi, not my mom. Yeah, yeah, but I mean, I go out once a week, depending on the day. Like sometimes I'll go and like, everything seems normal as far as like being stocked. And then sometimes I go and I'm like, what happened to all the stuff? Like I know a couple weeks ago I went and like the entirety of like all of like the frozen foods were all gone, and then all of the frozen fruits, all the frozen vegetables, all the frozen fruits were completely gone, and I was like, oh crap, like I
What's
need my
happening?
avocados. I
Yes.
need my frozen avocados. But so I go during the week now, and it seems to be a little better than it was. I'm hoping that we're kind of coming out of this now. And so yeah, I've just been like hanging out at home, just doing a lot of cooking, like most people, kind of like, doing all those like things that you always wanted to get to and you like never had the time. And now I'm like, I'm gonna do them. So
So what are the things you're doing that you haven't had time to do
um
previous?
well, basically, I really love cake. Okay, so like I've been watching like way too many baking shows, and like I usually will watch baking shows, but in particular, like the past couple months, I've just been, binge watching them a little more. And so I always want to do like that crazy cake decorating stuff. And
Oh, so
so
fun.
yeah. So like I don't know if you are familiar with like Duff Goldman and like Buddy, like the Cake Boss. Do you
Oh,
ever watch
yeah. I've seen a few episodes of Cake Boss, but probably not enough to.
Yeah. Well, I love watching shows like that. So we binge watched like the Buddy versus Duff series that was just on a couple months ago. And there's a woman on there named Natalie Sidesurf, and you have to check out her cakes because they're like absolutely incredible. And I think that was like the point where I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do something like this. I've always wanted to do like cake decorating. Granted, she's not vegan, but that's just like an extra. I guess it's a challenge for me to try to figure out some of these like cake techniques without using like traditional cake methods and ingredients. So it's been fun to try to figure out how to do some of these things.
Have you tried making like aquafaba royal icing yet? I've seen
I
people
have
do it.
I have
Not
seen
yet.
that too. I have been playing around with stuff like fondant. I found a good vegan fondant. And from what I've read, like apparently, because a lot of people say they don't like fondant, I thought it tasted pretty good, although it tasted like cracked sugar. All right, so I don't want to like eat a lot of it, but it's fun to like sculpt. Like it's really like I posted. I guess last week I posted a replica coffee mug that I made using fondant, and that was
Cool.
super fun. It took me like 3 days to do.
Wow.
But I wanted to take like a coffee cup and I wanted to like recreate it with all edible ingredients. So I made like a cinnamon vegan coffee cake and I made like a sheet cake. And then I went and made a stencil for the coffee mug and then like cut out a bunch of circles. And then I made chocolate, like vegan chocolate ganache, which that was like the first time I'd ever made that, and then stacked the cakes with like the ganache and did the whole, covered it like I guess they call it a crumb coat if we want to get the
Yep.
fancy schmancy stuff. And then let that sit in the fridge. And then yeah, I like rolled out fondant. I like sculpted it to the coffee mug. I had to like trim down the cake and everything. I had to like sculpt the handle. It was super fun,
That
but I had
sounds
to make
really
the handle.
fun.
Yeah, I had to make the handle like 5 times to try to get it right, but it
I've
was super
heard
fun.
from I've heard from potters that the handle is like the hardest part of throwing a mug because it kind of
Yeah.
has to stand perky on its own.
Yeah, I don't know why I thought it was gonna be easy. I don't know why I was thinking, "Oh, yeah, I'll just make, like, this handle and stick it on the side," and that's not what Okay? It was more like I stuck it on the side and it's like, "Whirr," right?
Oh. Well, Mary
Oh,
Ellen was a fan.
thank you. Yeah, I mean, it was a fun learning experience though. I just liked doing it because also you might relate to this, doing recipes. It's like you're constantly in this like creation stage of recipes that like it's
Mhm.
like you make a recipe, you're like, oh, this would be great, for my blog or whatever. And then you go into all these other creative, like you have to take the pictures and you have to do the writing. And sometimes like I just would like to just create just to do it. I don't not necessarily to share, in the extent of a blog post. So it was fun to just be able to just make all these different elements and just play around with it.
Yes, I recently made tortillas with my kid and we made oh my gosh, tostadas. And
Oh,
it was so fun to just do it for kicks. I put pictures on Instagram, but I'm not planning to like put a recipe up or anything. Although now
yeah,
that I say that, I'm like, but we could.
I know.
They were so good. But like it was fun to just get in the kitchen and cook for the fun of like cooking without thinking about anything else. Like without thinking about, was that a teaspoon? Was that a half a teaspoon?
Right. You have to like always like writing with your notebook on the side, right? If you start getting into a recipe and you're like, "Oh, this is really good. I probably should be writing this down." It's nice to just be like, "I'm not going to write it down." But then yeah, in the back of your head you're like, "But should I? I mean, this is going really well."
So Sarah,
Right?
the filling was basically my spinach taco filling, and then I just put it on corn tortillas. You could make from scratch or you could buy them and then cheese and then baked them. They were really easy. Sarah's
Yeah,
LOL.
they sound delicious.
They were real good, and the
That's
kid devoured them, which is anything that gets him eating beans, I'm into.
Oh, does he not like beans?
He's very choosy about beans. He's gotten better. I don't know. He's 7. He's very 7 about food, I think.
I hear you. My son is 7 as well, and so, I mean, he's a good eater, but yeah, he definitely, like, when it comes to dinner, I mean, so many times, like, if I give him a sandwich, for example, he won't eat the sandwich. He will take the bread off the sandwich and all the things off the sandwich and then just eat in whatever order, I don't know, that he thinks is, like, most worthy or something, and then, like, decide not to eat, like, "I don't wanna eat the lettuce," or, "I don't wanna eat" I'm like, "Just eat it all together and it'll be good."
Yes, I've actually said to him, "Just eat the sandwich like a sandwich." He
Yes.
won't. He also has said he doesn't like tacos. We talked about this on a Talkin' Tofu episode that Dave and I just recorded. I know he doesn't like tacos, and I think the problem is he doesn't like, first of all, food touching, because I think that's what it is about the sandwiches. But then he doesn't like tortillas. So when I make tacos, I just put all the things on the plate for him and don't even bother going through all that heartache.
Oh my gosh. Doesn't like tacos.
I know.
Man, Mexican food. I just love Mexican food so much.
Me
I couldn't give
too.
that one up.
Your 3-year-old will come around, Christy. When he was 3, he didn't eat anything.
Yeah, seriously. I know. Kids are funny. They're weird. I mean, even my son yesterday, he was making toast and I saw him put a weird looking piece of toast in the or bread in the toaster and I was like, "What are you putting in the toaster?" And he was like, "This bread." And I was like, "What did you do to it?" He had taken all the crust off of it before he went to toast it. And I was like, "What, you don't like crust now?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "Well, what did you do with the crust?" He was like, "I ate it." I was
Oh,
like, "Okay."
that's
But at least
kind
he
of
didn't
genius.
kinda, I mean, I guess getting the bad part over with first, right? And
And then
then
you
the
get
part
it toasty all around. I'm gonna try this. I think that he's onto something.
Would you do that when you were a kid? Like, eat the bad part or the part that you didn't like first and save?
I still do that. I eat from least to most favorite so that the last bite is the best bite.
Yeah, exactly. I hear you.
Yes, they separate. He would dump the taco out and not eat the tortilla. So I just have to
That's so
separate it
fun.
now. And Randy Cole says, "Hi, Randy. Hi, Becky."
Hi. Oh, that's my dad.
Oh, hi, Randy's dad.
Yeah. Hi, Dad.
So I
Oh.
guess we're already talking about this a little bit, but so I think we might as well segue right into the what's cooking segment. Let's talk more about it.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, I've just been doing, I think we were talking about it a little bit before the call, like just comfort food, just making as much comfort food as possible because I mean, and I always try to give it like a little, a healthier spin, right? Try to make it as healthy as possible, but I really just, I mean, we live in the South, okay? Mashed potatoes.
Food group.
Mashed potatoes and French fries. I've been making things like mac and cheese. I've been making like I have a vegan hamburger helper, and that's on my blog. And I love that recipe because that's kind of where it's close to my heart because it's kind of where I started. Like when I first moved out and had kids, I have twin girls. And so when I first started, I like had a family of 4, and I didn't know how to cook anything. And so I would go to the store and I would just get like 5 boxes of hamburger helper because you can do that, right?
Anyone can,
That's
yeah.
not hard.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, so like I have my own recipe of hamburger helper now, and I mean I love making that. My kids, my girls will make that, which is nice because then I don't have to make it. But yeah, doing stuff like that. I was gonna say tacos. We have been doing a ton of tacos because you can just make them different every. You could have tacos all week, and they could be a different flavor every week.
Mix up those tortillas.
Yeah. What
Yeah.
kind of comfort foods like have you been making?
We also do a lot of mac and cheese. That's a Friday night dinner. Mac and cheese and air fryer tofu. And then I put a veggie in the mac and cheese because that's how we did it when I was a kid. So
Oh yeah,
like usually broccoli, sometimes spinach.
that sounds delicious.
What other? Oh, I did a shepherd's pie last 2 nights ago with lentils and broccoli and corn and
Oh
peas.
wow,
It
that
was
sounds
really good.
that sounds delicious.
We love a shepherd's pie. It's
So
kind of,
you have an air fryer.
yeah,
How often do you use that?
almost
Is it
every
like
day.
enough? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. So what do you like more? Do you like the air fryer or the instant pot?
I mean, they're just so different. I feel like it's a hard call. I use them both so much. I don't think I would
Really?
wanna part with either one. Yeah, because we use the Instant Pot to make, like, potatoes, for mashed potatoes, for, like, all of our grains, and then for soups and stuff. And then the air
Wow.
fryer we use for tofu, um, certain veggies, like zucchini in the air fryer is really good.
Oh, that sounds good.
Your dad puts broccoli in his mac and cheese too. It is so good because then the broccoli soaks up the cheese sauce. Oh, it's
Yeah.
delightful.
Yeah. Well, the reason I was asking which one you like better is because I don't have either of those. Okay, I don't have an air fryer or an instant pot, and I've been wanting to get both of them, but I don't have the counter space. And like,
Yeah.
I have had to go through like I've gotten rid of appliances in the past that I'm like, okay, I just don't have the room and I don't use it enough, and that's why I was curious, like, if you could choose only one, which one
Gosh.
would you choose?
Probably the air fryer. I mean, I could make rice on the stove if I had to.
But do you remember how?
Yeah, I mean, sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could
No,
do it.
I used to have a rice steamer, and I used to use it a lot, but then it was like, I was like, "I'm only using this for rice." So I ended up getting rid of it, and I remember when I first tried to make rice a couple times after that, I was like, "How the heck do I make rice again?" Like, you get so used to doing it a certain way.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
get spoiled. I've definitely there have been a couple times where the Instant Pot was otherwise engaged, and I have had to, like, be a little more mi it's not autopilot for sure to make something like that I'm used to making in the Instant Pot. Have to think
Yeah.
about it.
So have you ever made, like, because I see some of those, like, you can make a cake in them. Have you ever done that?
Mm-mm. Not a
Okay.
cake. We do yogurt in there sometimes. We used to do it
Oh,
all the
wow.
time, and then we just stopped eating so much yogurt.
Yeah. How would you make your yogurt? Because I used to make yogurt too, and I had a yogurt maker, and sometimes it would turn out good, and sometimes not so good.
So I use soy milk, and, it has to be the kind with no additive no gums. It can have, like, sugar or
Okay.
salt. Um, and then you can either use, like, store-bought yogurt as the starter, or you can use, probiotic capsules and just
Okay.
stick it in the Instant Pot
I
overnight.
think I used to use, like, I would use a coconut yogurt as a starter,
Mhm.
and yeah, I mean, I would say, like 9 times out of 10 it would turn out okay, but there was always that one time that I'm like, I don't know what happened.
I wonder if it's just luck of the draw then, because I have a recipe on my website for Instant Pot yogurt, and every once in a while, I get a comment from someone that's like, "I followed your recipe exactly, and it was a disaster." And they tell me everything they did, and I'm like, "No, you did follow it exactly. I don't understand what's happening," because then, the other 99% of the comments are like, "Best recipe. Thank you."
Yeah.
And so maybe it's just that it's kind of sometimes it doesn't work out.
Yeah, I hear you though on like the comments and stuff. I have a recipe for a breakfast sausage, a vegan breakfast sausage, and it's like one of the most popular recipes on my blog, and I love that recipe, and we make it a lot. And most people that come to that recipe, they're like, "This recipe is awesome." But then every once in a while, I'll get somebody being like, I don't know how I do this. They fell apart or they did this," and I'm like, I wish I could reach through the screen and help you.
Yeah, it's like there's one small thing maybe that's different that
Yeah,
it's hard to pin that down if you weren't there.
yeah.
So Christy says that she got the Instant Pot for the rice. Yeah, that's the other thing I like is that you can just, like, walk away. I'm
Oh,
all
yeah.
about not having to be there. That's why I have a lot more oven and gadget recipes than I do stovetop because I love being able to just walk away.
Oh, yeah, definitely, definitely. Um, yeah. So
So
I
what
think that.
else is cooking in your house? You were saying you made a lot of cakes recently, and I've also have been seeing you on Instagram making some really amazing scones.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, I love the scones. We love scones. We've made those scones, so many times. I just love scones so much. But I mean, really just, any baked good is good in our house, but it goes so fast because we have a family of 5. So I'll make something and then it's like, I gotta be like, "Okay," like, you guys can have, like, 1 after dinner or, like, 1 in the morning, but we have to, like, space them out, otherwise everybody would just eat them, like, right away. But I love scones because they're so like you could put anything in there. Like the ones that I have that are on my blog, they're blueberry scones, and yeah, those are great. But we've tried them with chocolate chips, and of course, anything with chocolate, I think is just like winner.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But yeah, we've just been doing a lot of baking, just trying different cakes. So yesterday we made brownies, and I used black beans, so I made black bean brownies. And I just, sometimes I'll let my son help me decorate, or my girls, they'll go in and they'll ask if they can decorate something. So like I'll make the cake portion, and then like they'll make the icing portion and decorate it. And it's just something fun. I think, especially like right now with just the way like everything being so wonky and everything,
Mhm.
it's really great to have activities like that because, like I think I was saying yesterday to some friends, like, if the worst thing that can happen is you drop a cake, right? Or like when I'm watching like a baking show, if the worst thing that could possibly happen is like somebody drops a cake or messes something up, like that's where I want to live right
Yeah, that sounds like a dream.
now. Right, exactly. But and I got I wanted to show you. I got like, because I don't know if anybody out there doesn't want to use like the dyes, because that was like something that I have like, a problem with, is that you like go to a cake section, like a cake decorating section, and it like a lot of the stuff is vegan, but a lot of it is like really, really unhealthy. And even though cake isn't necessarily a healthy food, we try to make it as healthy as possible, right? I mean, there's a difference. So anyway, I got these like rainbow sprinkles. I don't know if you can see it. It's from the Color Kitchen. I don't know if you can see it right there,
You're so
but they
pretty.
look pretty cool. Yeah. And those are all with like natural dyes. So they use stuff like, okay, well, it's not saying it right here, but I know they use like beet juice and things like that, like turmeric, like that kind of stuff. And then I got these. These is also the same thing. You can see that,
Oh,
food
cool.
colors from nature from Color Kitchen. But it's really cool because they have, instead of like like the little dye bottles and everything, it's just like these little packets, and then you just sprinkle them in.
That's awesome.
So
So it's a powder?
yeah, it's a powder. So you like, if you're gonna
Oh,
make frosting, you just put like a couple, like a little teaspoon or something, depending on like how vibrant you want the color. You just put that in, like the powdered sugar, and then you mix it up. And it's, I mean, and it doesn't alter the flavor. I think they're pretty awesome. And I experimented a little bit with some of those with fondant, and it seems to work.
that's
Um,
awesome.
so good news.
We've also been doing some adventure, well, it's not that adventurous, but we made chocolate bars. There's this hazelnut crunch bar that we really like, and so, we were trying to replicate it at
That sounds
home. It was so fun. We just used melted chocolate chips. I didn't do the whole, like, um, cocoa butter, cocoa
Mhm.
powder from scratch. I wanted it to be really easy. Um, and it was super fun, and doing it with the kid was really fun.
Yeah.
We did 2 hazelnut bars and then 1, I have a ton of Dandies in my kitchen right now, which
Oh,
are vegan
I
marshmallows.
was gonna say
Oh,
I'm jealous of you.
they just sent them to me. It was so nice.
Oh my God, that's so
I know.
awesome.
Write them. I bet they'll send you some too. And, we put, like, one mini marshmallow in each section of the mold, so they're marshmallow chocolate bars. He said that he likes those the best.
Oh wow.
I have to do
Yeah.
those again.
I love Dandy's marshmallows. They're so good. Oh my God,
Barbara.
hey. Aw, thank you. That's my mother-in-law.
Oh, hi. And Amy is also here and she says hi.
Oh,
Hey, Amy.
hi, Amy. I'm so glad
Showing
you could
off those
make it.
good
I was
avocados.
gonna say, I love that picture of you, Amy. Every time I see it, it makes me happy. Yeah.
So maybe let's transition now and talk about our happy place. Ooh, that
Okay.
was loud that time. Sorry, everyone.
So what's your happy place? I want you to start, Becky.
Sure. And so the happy place is just something that's bringing you joy. It could be big or small. And this week, my happy place is the homeschool schedule that my kid and I sat down and made yesterday, or I guess the home camp schedule. We went 4 days this week um, with no schedule, and I truly felt like my whole world was falling apart. I was like, why do I feel so chaotic and stressed out? And then a friend of mine, I was texting with her, and she was like, oh, well, we have this on the schedule at 2, but we could talk to you at 3. And I was like, a schedule. That's what's missing. So
Yeah.
we just took his homeschool schedule and used that as our jumping off point and edited it to make it And it's just so nice. So then when we have those moments where we're like, what do? We look at the schedule. And, we're not
Yeah.
following it to the letter every minute, but it's nice to have something like to ground our days. I think his homeschool schedule was kind of bringing a lot of structure to our lives. And so when school ended, that was gone. It's nice to have a little structure again.
Yes. Yeah, you need structure, especially when you have a 7-year-old, for sure. Because if you just left them to their own, I mean, especially nowadays too. I don't know if your son's the same as mine, but like if he sees me working on the computer, he wants to do something on the computer as well. And it's harder to get him to go and play. And even though I have two older daughters, they are teenagers, and so they don't want to play with, little brother anymore. And so
Yeah.
he's kind of like, it's that only child thing where he just has to go and figure out something to do by himself. So yeah, definitely having a schedule, I think, is a great idea because like I'll have little activities that he can do. So like if I'm working, I can kind of give him something to do. And then
Mhm.
that way he feels like he's doing something instead of just, you know, getting bored. Although when we were kids, my parents would just be like, go play. And you just would have to figure out something to do, right?
Yes, I don't know what maybe well, Dave says I'm a pushover. I think that's part of it, but,
Same.
he just makes such a sweet face at me, and I'm like, "Of course you can play Luigi's Mansion a little longer. It's fine."
Yeah, same. My son loves that game.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
it's a cute game.
It really is. It really is. Yeah, he loves playing Mario. He loves playing Kirby, but I only let him play for so long because then sometimes he just gets too worked up about it. Like you don't need to be playing games for real long. But I hear you. It's that little face, and then you're like, I can't be mad at you.
Yeah.
Have a cupcake.
Yeah. What can I do? Ooh, I just whomped my desk. I'm sorry, y'all. Christy says that they have a schedule too. Yeah, it's like an anchor. It's not like, oh, but you give them more free time. That's interesting. I bet that once they get the swing of that, they rise to the occasion too.
Yeah, I think it depends on the age group as well. I mean, each child is different. I mean, like my girls, they're really great about, going off and finding something to do. And they've always kind of been that way, although they're twins. So I guess they've always had each other. So it's a little different what they can go and do versus my son. But yeah, I'm not like, and even though we're homeschoolers, I'm not like really like completely rigid with like our schedule. Like I have things on there that I want to like check off, but I'm not like at 1 o'clock we do this and 2 o'clock we do this because then I feel like we just get stressed out.
Yeah. Oh, we do have it that way. But then, if it's 1:30 and we're still working on or playing or whatever, we'll
Yeah.
move things around. But it is nice to be like, what time is it? What should we be doing?
So what have you guys been, because your son went to school before all this.
Yeah.
So how was that transition for you guys?
There were a couple tough weeks. Um, he misses his friends. And it's hard when mom's your teacher all of a sudden and she wasn't before. But he acclimated. He's a really resilient kid. I think kids in general are pretty resilient. And
Yeah.
and making a schedule then really helped too. So he would have like Google Meets with his teacher. Um,
Wow.
I think they did them once a day. And then after she signed off, a lot of the time the kids would stay on and do cute little chats with each other. And those were the best.
Aw, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, we haven't. My girls definitely had, because I will outsource some of their classes since they're in high school, and I'm like, I already did high school. I can't do high school math again.
No.
you know.
I tried to teach him what a preposition was yesterday, and I was like, I don't think I know what a preposition is.
Yeah, you have to like call them the Schoolhouse Rock days, right?
We
Try
went
to.
we got on YouTube.
There you go.
We
Yeah,
found a
we are.
song.
Can you imagine if all of this had happened like pre-internet?
Oh my gosh. No.
I know. Seriously, that would have been scary.
What a
Um,
nightmare.
yeah, yeah. My son definitely misses his activities and his friends. Like we used to do, and the library would host activities for homeschoolers, like book club and things like that. And he misses doing those things. But I'm hoping, it's almost over. We're almost back to that point where we can enjoy some of those things. But I'm finding a lot of people too, it's like we're kind of in this weird stage where it's like we want to go back to, normal life, but then like a lot of us have been thinking like how much we had on our plates before all this, and some of us don't want to go, like, I know I don't want to go from 0 to 100 in like a day,
Yeah.
you know, because I realized I was doing a lot of stuff before. Yeah.
So have you found out what's your happy place that's
Oh,
kinda
what's
it
my
could
happy place?
and it could be something from this week or something that's been working this whole time, or there's
This
no
is,
rule.
I guess my happy place really is the end of the day, sitting down and just watching just watching TV. That is my happy place right now. I watch reruns, we watch baking shows, we watch, like, I don't know if you've ever watched this show, but the Naked and Afraid. Have you ever watched that?
No, I've heard about it. It sounds like the kind of thing that would stress me out, but it also sounds like it's really would be good if you were if that's like your thing, like
Yeah, like,
trauma.
well, I don't watch it with the kids. I mean, me and my husband will watch it at the end of the day, but it's actually really great, and it kind of helped us through some of this. I feel like it was kind of therapeutic because it's like these people are like out in the middle of Africa, right? With like no clothes, no nothing, trying to figure out how to survive. And I'm like, I'm just in my bed. Right? I'm in my bed with my pillow and my comfy PJs, and and they're like starving, and I'm like, "Man, I'm hungry. I'm gonna go get a snack," right? Like it reminds you, I guess, of how good we still have it, and it's just interesting in case for whatever reason, I don't know. I don't expect to ever, be dropped off in the middle of Africa, but if it was gonna happen,
Just
at
in
least
case
now.
if you needed to find water for yourself, you could do it,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Hopefully, I don't know. I think I would tap out pretty quickly in that show. I think at the end of day one. Yes,
I think it does help
Beth
you
is right.
appreciate. Yeah.
Absolutely, absolutely, and so it's amazing to see how people react on that show. Because sometimes, like my favorite episodes are like, because they always pair two people up. They always pair a man and a woman up. And my favorite episodes are when they work really well together. Like they get there and they're like, we're gonna build a shelter, bam. Like we're gonna go find a food source, bam. And we're gonna get water. And they just like, are great the whole time. It makes me sad when I watch episodes and it's like they just are fighting the whole time, and it's like it's amazing what people will do when they're under extreme stress. Like some people will rise to the occasion and be able to actually, do what they got to do, and some people are like, I'm just going to lay in the dirt over here.
Oh, no.
you know.
I do love seeing people when they just work together. That is there's something about that. We've been watching or we just rewatched The Circle.
Oh
Um,
my god, that one on Netflix. Yes, I loved that show.
it's so good. I love how kind and supportive they all are, and they kind of at least like that original group, like, they work together.
Yes.
It's so sweet. It's and unexpected on a show like that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if anybody else knows what The Circle is, but it's a social media show, right? Where like, I mean, you'll have to. It's been a while since I've seen it, Becky. So you might, since you just finished it, you might want to.
It's like a reality show about social media where each person is in their own apartment and they're only interacting via this like internal social network called the Circle. And there's
Yeah.
the winner is the person. How do they do? The winner is like the most popular person, basically.
Yeah. Well, and it was interesting because some people put their real, like, because they're creating a social media profile, right? So it's like some people put their real picture of themselves up with like a real caption about what they really do. And then other people used a fake picture. Like one guy used his girlfriend, right?
He's one of my favorites. He's so funny.
Yeah, and he was pretending to be a girl the whole time, right? And so it was interesting to see how other people reacted to that, because I thought it was funny. I mean, interesting and kind of funny that people thought that the ones that were being 100% real on their profiles, sometimes they would get the boot, right?
Yes, that happened quite a few times.
Yeah, and they were being themselves, and then at the end, they get to do, like, this video where they're like, "I just wanna tell you guys that I was real the whole time," right?
It's just so
And
good.
it is. I really liked that one too, and I don't know if you watched I didn't watch they did The Circle Brazil, but I didn't watch it because I had to read subtitles. I was like, "I don't feel like reading subtitles."
There are so many.
Crazy.
There's a France one that I heard is really good that we might
Oh
watch.
my gosh.
Oh, I've been
Uh,
wanting to watch Santa Clarita Diet.
Amy,
Zomcom.
I couldn't do it. I liked the first season, it just got too much for me. I couldn't handle it after a while. I would, like, go to bed and have really weird dreams. I love Drew Barrymore, though.
Oh, Drew Barrymore is in it? I need to watch
Yes.
it. I've been not watching anything that Dave and I don't watch together lately because, I've just been playing Animal Crossing with all my available screen time. It's kind of a
I hear you
problem.
say that a lot. Yeah, I've heard you say that quite a few times now.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
like, I don't even know what you do on Animal Crossing.
It's basically
What do you
like
do on that game?
it's kinda like The Sims, but cute. You, like, start out on a deserted island and with a tent and a sleeping bag, and you, do stuff like gather fruit and fish and bugs and, eventually build your stuff up so you have a nice house and you have islanders that move in that are all animals, which I think is why it's called Animal
Oh,
Crossing. They're all
that's
very
cute.
sweet.
What do you play that on?
On the Switch, my
Oh,
kid and I share an island, so it's constant
oh,
negotiation.
I'm so jealous. I want to switch.
We it's been a real it feels like it's been a nice, like, you can pretend you're out and about. "I'm gonna go
Yeah,
shopping."
yeah, everything's fine.
It's
I'm gonna go
great.
buy groceries from a rhino, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep. It's very fun. Yeah, I've heard it's hard to get a Switch right now.
Really?
That's the word.
We almost got one last year, and then I don't remember what we got instead. I don't even remember. I mean, I want to get one. I just didn't also want to have like another device in the house because I don't know about you, but sometimes like you look around, you're like, I've got all these devices, and I just like, and especially when it comes to systems like Nintendo systems, I'm like, how many more systems can we have? You know, because where are you gonna put all of them?
As many as the console can hold. Dave is really good at, like, going in and finding a place for everything.
Oh, that's good.
They have an iPhone app for Animal Crossing? That's
Oh
really
wow.
fun. Maybe you can play it, Randy. You can come visit my island.
That would be cool.
See how obsessive I've been about it. It's a lot.
Oh. So I see you said that, yeah, Drew Barrymore and Timothy Oliphant. Yeah,
Oh,
okay.
Timothy Olyphant is so great.
He is great. I know they ended season 2 though. Was it good, Amy? I'm wondering if it's worth it to go through the whole thing.
While Amy's responding, I'll just say that I love Timothy Olyphant in Justified. I also think I just said his
Uh,
last name wrong, but that show
yeah, I don't know how you say his last name. As we said before the show, we don't know how to say some last names,
that's right, and we both have last names that you don't
right?
pronounce the way they're spelled, so we
Yeah.
understand.
I tried to watch that show Justified. I should give it another shot. I do like him. I thought he was a great character. I only got one episode in, and I was like, I can't handle this. It was
It's
an
pretty
intense first
violent at
episode.
times.
Yeah,
Mhm. There are some
and
moments for sure that are a little intense.
yeah, I have to be careful about what I watch, which I guess that's why I watch a lot of like cooking and baking stuff because I'm like, I can go to bed on that.
Yeah. But, yeah, you can't watch an episode of Justified and then go to bed. We always do, like, a palate cleanser comedy if we watch something like that.
That's funny. I do the same thing. Like if you watch a scary movie, I'm like, we have to turn on a cartoon. Okay,
Mhm.
just like 10 minutes of something else so I can just go to bed.
Yeah, like, scrub your brain real quick before bed.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Well,
Oh.
I think let's move on and let's talk about plugs. I know you said that you have a private Facebook group that you wanted to talk about, and then there was something else you mentioned as a possibility. I don't know if I can say it or not.
Oh, no, you can say it. If I think You mean like the food demos?
Uh,
So should
or there was a meal plan that you mentioned also, but you can talk about the
I-
food demos if you're going for it. I'm
Yeah.
excited about 'em.
So yeah, I have a Facebook group. It's vegan families. I'll have to. Can I drop a link down here for it?
Yeah, you can. That'll put a link on in the Facebook
Okay.
comments.
The drop. Okay. But yeah, sorry, my mind is blanking right now. I have a Facebook group. You can access all of that if you go to my website, bohemianvegankitchen.com. And I actually, as far as the meal planning goes, I have a series to teach you completely how to meal plan. So, like, everything you need to know, because I know it's really hard to meal plan right now and it's hard to just like pull it together. So I've provided like a mini series of everything you need to know to get you from start, from A to Z, right? And how to do, meal prepping in the kitchen to save time, just easy stuff, right? That's what we need. So if you do go to my website and check that out, you just, if it's on the home page, all about meal plans. And through that, you can join the Facebook group and I do plan on doing more cooking demos in the Facebook group right now. It's a really great community so far. I really love it. I love what people are sharing in there, and I love just having like a safe space. And I say safe space. I know some people don't like that term, but I feel like when we get on Facebook sometimes, like there's a lot to deal with right now, and in my group, I definitely like to keep it all like lighthearted and happy because we need that. We need more places that we can just not worry about what's going on in the world. Oh, hey, thank you, Mary Ellen. Thank you for doing that.
Yes, thank you. That makes it easy.
That actually, duh, Randy, duh. I could have said that. I forgot I named my own group after my own website. That's what's happening now. Brain.
It's Friday. It's totally fine.
Right, right.
And so before we wrap up, I also wanted to make sure that you mentioned where people can find you. I know your
Oh,
website
yeah.
and your Facebook group, but on the socials.
Yes. Okay. So I also have an Instagram and it's bohemian.vegan.kitchen. And I'm pretty much just on Instagram and on my Facebook group. That's where I'm the most active. And I would love it if you guys, went over and checked it out. I have my picture of my cake. You can see the cake I was bragging about earlier. Love you to check it out. And yeah, I really, really appreciate you having me on today, Becky. It was a pleasure to talk to you. I'm so glad we finally got to connect.
Yeah, me too. Thank you for being here. This was really fun.
It was.
All right, guys. Well, thank you all for watching. And thank you so much to everybody who participated in the comments. I always love hearing what you all have to say, too. You make it so much more fun. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, I think I'm going to hit the stop streaming button. Thank you, everybody.
Thank
Bye.
you.